Hey, it's Mark. I'm going to look at some stocks here tonight. I'm going to do these probably like 20 minutes or so. I'm going to look at some of the ones I've been looking at short bias and look through some indices and charts and other things. The ones that I was talking about recently were these EV charging companies like BL and K. I was talking about that one the other day. It's still a nice breakdown. It had a nice red day today. It's just like a slow grind down, and they've got a lot of competition with Tesla. Like, seems like every month or so Tesla has some news story where they're getting more charging stations put up and more cars that are using them, more partnerships. So the ones in that group are the BLNK, the Blink charging, and the other one I still like short is CHPT, Charge Point. It actually looks like it just took out some major support. So that's a descending triangle on that one. If you draw a triangle, we got a clear descending triangle. It's trying to come back up, but we'll see if it fails there, and if it keeps breaking down below 690, that's a good short too. The EVgo is one of the better ones. Like, I looked at their history of financials are really good. Like, their revenue growth has been incredibly good the past couple of years. I was actually, before Tesla started getting all these deals, I was looking at this one as a long, because their revenue growth was like 100-200% over the past few years. So, but I think they're a risk too for losing some, but they're probably one of the better ones, I think, out of the group. So, I mean, you can see the stock's doing better too. It's not at the lows, you could say, and it's kind of holding in a trading range there. But I mean, it very well may get pushed down too, but I like these other ones better short. The other ones I was looking at, well, the 10 actually had a rebound today, but it's got some downtrend resistance up to about 58, 57. So it's kind of just, that wasn't really a strong day today either. I still got the JKS short, and that actually had a nice. Well, I've got JKS puts, and JKS had a nice red day today, so it was good. It's good for the puts. So maybe that'll work out for me. I'll just have the JKS instead of the TAN. Like, I never bought the TAN puts because I just saw more weakness in these individual names and more opportunities. Series, another down day. I've been pounding the table on that one short too for a while. A lot of these they're just fading and fading. Like GNS is kind of still messing around there. We'll see what it does, but like, I'm still short biased on that too. Those are pretty much the only ones I was looking at on the supernovas. Let's see. I think I found one that's kind of like a supernova, but just had a nice red day, and it actually came up in my other scan. Well, it's actually not supernova. It's more of a downtrend play, but it's it topped out there on the first after earnings, and I was looking at the technicals on it. It kind of does these top outs, and then it's been going down since spring, summer 22. So this one may have, well, the fact that it hit that scan, it gapped down significantly today on some volume. So that's a possibility for a short too. It's got some bad technicals going that are better for shorting. Because it was a pretty good day in the market. We saw the NVDA earnings were amazing, and it's funny. There's people who have been trying to be bears on NVIDIA itself for a long time, and you don't short a company that has potential for accelerating revenue growth. Like you could look at, like I've been saying before in the past on my Twitter and stuff, that even if you look at historic multiples like Alibaba back in the e-commerce boom back in 2005, 2004, they had 200 PE, and like they were 50 times sales, and that they held that valuation for years, for at least a couple of years. So we're still kind of in like year one of the AI boom. So, and there's more and more people are buying, as more and more companies catch on to what they can do, with these video cards, as small companies catch on, because it's going to take a while for these smaller companies to catch on to generative AI. They're eventually going to start buying these cards too, or maybe even a lesser card, but like maybe an ASIC, or they may not even need the H100s, but anyways, so it's still going to be good for semiconductor companies selling cards. So it's not something you short. And I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, they try to short because there was like a semiconductor glut or something, and like that doesn't really matter. Like you can see it's all about the market's expectations for demand and the future. Like the stock market is a future discounter, so it's just kind of the future of businesses and AI. Doesn't really care about the semiconductor glut or any kind of somewhat minor problem like that. At least for the stock price doesn't care. So you're gonna have to change when you're in a bull market. Certain things matter more than others. Like if we keep this bull market going, the sales still matter more in the future sales than any kind of valuation ratios. But that's just the way it is. I mean, in the long term, it doesn't work. But when you're in a bull market, you can't worry about a PE multiple or price to sales that's a little high, like because it's kind of like herd mentality, So, but we'll see, like, because it could go on for years where it could be overvalued if it is overvalued. But it's probably more likely the market's kind of fairly priced if there are no major economic hiccups. So the Q still the technicals improved today. It actually came through, like I was talking about. That level there was big on the Qs, and it blasted through this downtrend resistance, kind of like the semiconductors did. The semis were pretty foretelling on that, like we saw the other day, 2 days ago. Semiconductors smashed through this downtrend channel on the 21st on a Monday, and that was a leading indicator for the Qs apparently, because we saw NVIDIA had that good quarter. So we'll see. I think it's still in a channel like I was talking about. Like it's gonna have to get some serious momentum, obviously, to smash through this resistance here now. But I think it may be more likely to go sideways a while. But it's hard to bet against semiconductors this year. So the other ones have been doing. I was looking at these uranium plays have been pretty good. It might be getting a little oversold on the short term, but these have had good relative strength even when the market was down. When the market was down the other day, these were up. I like this one the best just because it has it came out of this base right there. It came out of it made a technical bottom. The URG. SOS, as I was saying, it's getting choppy now. Like I thought today was up in the air as far as what it did, and it looks like it did fake out on the short side pretty much, and it's just choppy. That's a tough one. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, the PTON was. I've been bearish on this one since, God, I don't know, like months ago. Well, I was drawing lines here. I've probably been bearish on this one all year, really. And because I'm looking back at my lines here, I drew some trend lines back in the winter and early 23. And I've just been playing puts on it sporadically, and I unfortunately didn't have puts today, but because it was kind of a fake out there. I was looking at it, but that's how it goes sometimes. You can't catch everything, but hopefully somebody that's watching these videos still has puts on it or a short, because it's still one of my favorite shorts. So it might just kind of like grind up a little bit, like AMC did. A lot of times these gap downs, they get mean reversion, so they go up a little bit. But I do have some AMC puts, and this has been really nice. Like I had the $2 strikes, so I'm gonna give it another day or two. Like it's not a big position, just kind of speculative. Let's see what else we got. So we did solar, VFS. I'm waiting for options to start trading on this one. I'm just gonna buy some long calls, like some deep and out of the money calls. Maybe if they have it to October or December or later, because I think this one has a good chance of competing in the US. The other ones, we'll see what Tilray is doing. Yeah, it's just getting choppy. That one's it's kind of tried to break out of that bull flag, but didn't. And let's see. Yeah, XHB bounced today. This is the line to watch on it. Here is this level there. It's basically a textbook rounding top. So if it comes up, my hunch is it's going to come up and test here about 82, and then just fail and go down to this trend support, because it's got long-term trend support on this bottom line going back, most of the year. So I think it's going to come back to test this. And a lot of the home builders have pretty much the exact same chart. There's not a lot of disparity. Let's go through any more portfolios I have. Oh yeah, the Holo was pretty good too. I've been talking about this one the past couple days. I first put this one on. I put this on my Twitter back in May, and like I said, I bought it in May. So that was what, like $1 to $2 a share. So I bought it here on this, when it broke out there, and around $2 a share. And it went up to $8 and change today. And it's pretty much gone supernova, actually. It's going to have a red day soon, but but I think it's a better long. Like that's what I've got it in my long-term account, so I'm kind of skeptical to short that one. But it's going to have some consolidation eventually at some point. Let's look at gold, because I was looking at that. I've just been watching these technicals play out. You can see how it's traded. It trades pretty well in channels. It had a channel here, and it broke out and retested, and then went, and then it did another channel, and it still hit that resistance there, but it just broke this channel up again like it did a month ago, and it actually has bullish technicals at the moment. So it's a potential swing play for like a week or so, because it might get some follow through off of this channel break, because it broke out of this downtrend. Let's look at oil too, because I've been looking at that one a lot too. Yeah, it's just in a breakdown mode actually. It failed. It's a failed bull flag right there, and it took out a lot of levels here. So it might even get choppy. Like usually oil just trends in one direction, doesn't really go sideways that long, but it can go sideways. So I don't think it's a good setup really. But I mean the setup is short, but it kind of had a reversal today. It was strange, so it's not one of my favorites. Let's look at the SPY too, because that one's probably trying to break out. Yeah, it just kind of barely broke out of that channel. And depending on how you draw these internal lines, it's still got this resistance here to deal with. But the way it's looking now, it's going to be a battle there. But it's kind of the same story as QQQ. It's kind of bearish unless it can really get some momentum. I would say overall it's kind of a neutral to bearish, because it's gonna have to do a lot of work to get back to the highs soon. So those are the main ones I want to look at. Yeah, the YALA is coming back too. YALA tested a trend support. I've still got calls on this one, like a couple months out. The other one is NGE. It's right on some trend support. This has a 16% dividend yield and a net dividend yield of about 15%. So I think this is a good long-term bet, because you get a dividend yield plus any appreciation if it comes. But and it may be some good things coming, because their politics seem to be a little better than they were in the past. So that's like a potential long, but to be a trade, it needs to break a level. So it needs to, I'd say it needs 950. Yeah, 948 was a pretty good level there. Let's see, yeah, 949. Yeah, it needs about 951 or 955 to be a trade, but because you can see when it breaks these long flags, it's a trade. But this would be the third time it's got these flags. It just kind of goes up in flags, but I like it as a long-term play for at least a few years, a couple of years, to see what happens with the politics. Because a 16% yield, that's good if it's in a tax-free retirement account. That's just from my opinion, from myself. I like it that way. I like it. Google's impressive too. Google's been surprisingly resilient. To me and a lot of people, their search business is under pressure with generative AI and with these AI LLMs. Like you can use Perplexity AI. Like I use Perplexity.ai for searches, and there's no ads, and it's the same kind of format, but it has just way better because it gives you the best links, so you don't have to look for them, and it puts them in like that you can click on to see if you want to look at them again. So it's like a faster Google really, but the technicals on Google look pretty bullish here. I think people betting that they've got something up their sleeve with was it Genesis, or the newest LLM tech they're working on. But there's a lot of competition for search now. Like I was saying, Perplexity is faster and there's less ads. So I mean, to me that's better. I don't think people are gonna want to look at their ads. And you gotta go through 4 ads just to get to the results nowadays. And they do that because they're a monopoly, but monopolies are obviously not always the best. But it's hanging in there. It looks as good as any tech company that I've seen. And I'll look at NVDA just in case anybody wants to see that one. Yeah, we got gap up. This was the earnings there. It keeps gapping up on earnings. That was the last earnings, and then it has a down channel, just like everything else I looked at. And we got the top channel there. We got bottom there, roughly. So it looks like Q's pretty much, and then we got some resistance there. That resistance is 481 and change, and this the trend line looks like it's hitting 484. I can't really see because I'm not going to go out too far and mess up my chart, but 481 or 42 is the big level. So that's this downtrend resistance. So if it breaks through that, then it'll be going. But the other possibility is it turns into a channel here, because it's hit that resistance level pretty much twice. So it may go into a channel and just either channel there, it could go in a channel there, or maybe even lower. So those are the levels. So it may just go into this channel and go sideways if it doesn't break out. So those are the levels of the channel to watch. The lowest is on 458 or 451. Oh, what is it? 440. No, 440 is the low in this channel it's in right now. So it's got support to 440, and then down to 403. So we'll see. It's pretty important for the second half of the year what it does here. And those are the only ones I want to go through. Like I just looked through the supernova scan, didn't see anything great. But there's a lot of stuff popping, like there's still some speculative stocks popping, but I didn't see anything super compelling at the moment, so I'll wrap it up there.